So here we are yet again. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I mean, what can I say? I've been busy. So this is footage from BattleTech, um, and I feel this game would greatly, most closely illustrate the type of game I'm talking about. So without much ado, I'll go into the intro, the premise, and then I'll tell you about a Tavern Tale that involves a butter knife in someone's eyeball after the cut. So here we go. This is about Dark Space. It used to be called Chronicles from Dark Space or of Dark Space. It came out in 1982. It was originally a module, a kind of a mod for D&D. It's from Germany. It was a mod for D&D. It was then updated to version 2.0 in 1987, 86? No, it was 86. And then 1990, it was brought up to 2.5. And then it was kind of went dormant for a while. Like, it was still released in Germany and Europe, but not in America, which is kind of weird because it had a UK release. So if you wanted to play it, you could still play it in English, but not in America, which is, kind of sad. So you might ask, what is Dark Space? Dark Space is a kind of like a darker take on a sci-fi space RPG. There is faster than light travel, but it's really expensive and owned by corporations and some governmental entities. And it takes lots of resources and money to maintain a FTL network. Now, there's like 3 different types of FTL networks. There are ships that can go faster than light, but they're really expensive to use. Then you have jump gates, which are maintained by some corporations and some governments and principalities, and they're really like you need to have a pass in order to use, and the pass is a form of a tax for government entities, and is up for it's just per trip for corporations. Like, that's how they make their money. You also have wormholes, but wormholes are very kind of like iffy, and very few people know how to use wormholes properly. For the normal people, all they have are light drives, which can go at the speed of light. But here's the thing. Light drives basically boil down into 2 types of ships. Generational ships that go, like if it's a 70 light year trip, it'll take 70 years to get there, and multiple generations. Or cryo sleep. So those are your choices. So during this, you have the same things you have in other RPGs. You have raiders, bandits, pirates, little principalities basically attacking people who are going from point A to point B in order to take their ships and retrofit them with better engines so that they can use them in their own little wars against other principalities. So it's a very interesting setting. The setting has aliens and androids and gene mods and hybrids. Hybrids are mixes between humans and an alien species. The cool thing about the game is that it uses a very different type of, it's a different type of setting, and humans are kind of like the redneck poor white trash of the galaxy. So basically, humans essentially kind of like, they're the indigent, right? Like, a running gag in the series is that Earth is like the aliens are the more advanced species, so they basically treat humans like the primitive natives. Because Earth has absolutely nothing to offer. Basically, if you're human, you get racially profiled and all that type of fun stuff. Not really fun in real life, but it's a really good story mechanic you can use if you're running a campaign in Chronicles of Dark Space. So, without much ado, now that I've laid that out, I'll tell you the premise and setting of this story, and then we'll get into it after the cut. So this is a story that happened when I was not the DM for this session. So I was just one of the characters. So I was playing as a gene mod hybrid. A gene modification hybrid. Essentially a tiger man, okay? And and I was a heavy worlder, okay? Heavy worlders are people who live in worlds that have above standard Earth gravity, so they physically are really fucking strong, and have incredibly dense musculatures. Combat in dark space is kind of like, ironically, despite the high tech setting, they kind of use a logical theory on how space combat will work. So when you're boarding ships, you can't use ballistic weapons, because if you do, you can damage the shell of the ship and cause explosive decompression, killing everyone. Unless you're androids, in which they don't need oxygen, they don't fucking care. So anyway, essentially what happened is that we were playing a module where we were playing a group of former armed forces who essentially were on the losing side of a war between two principalities. We said, fuck it, deserted, started our own kind of freedom raiding freelancer mercenary group, and we were paid to get this guy's daughter who had been kidnapped. Not because he actually gave a shit about his daughter, but because his daughter, on her person, in her eye, had this genetic DNA code that could be used to, that had like part of a code sequence that would basically get this guy unlock the research that his daughter had been working on. It was like something like that, like kind of like Johnny Mnemonic, but not quite as convoluted as that. So basically what happens is that I'm sitting here trying to do whatever it is I'm trying to do, and I was playing like a level 3 character, not very low level, but I mean I had a lot of like little bennies on the side because of the character class I was playing. So like everyone, we had 4 characters who were playing plus the DM. I was a gene mod tiger man, basically. We had our android slash robot gunner slash hacker who could basically like we'd send out on the side to do stuff, because we'd send them on the outside to like spacewalk on the outside of ships in order to sabotage stuff and open up airlocks and stuff from the outside so that we could get in. Because Android doesn't need air. A human tactician and an alien. The tactician kind of sucked at everything because she dumped all her points into intelligence and like all of her skills in intelligence, and just minimized everything else. So she was really smart, which made her really good for boosting everyone else's abilities with her tactical advice. But she basically stayed in the ship and just talked to us through comms. So, which was the smart move. And we had a cybernetic leader who, this guy basically was mostly a machine. Just pretty much that's what he did. So anyway, we were fighting our way into this pirate ship that we had docked with surreptitiously. And basically, I mean, this was because everyone else in the party was higher level than me. Um, like it was one of those. It was kind of a tough situation because these pirates had been raiding for years and they had lots of experience. But they didn't know that this guy's daughter, who they kidnapped, and were. Dark Space is a very dark tabletop RPG. So they had raped the shit out of this woman, tortured her. It was not fun. But I'm essentially, I was the lowest level character. Now, I'm gene modded, so I have great physical strength. But it's not like I was really of the appropriate level to really do anything. So I'm doing the best I can, but I'm still not exactly what I would call like knocking it out the park. So as the fight goes on, we're fighting our way through this pirate ship, and like I'm basically losing weapons as we're going along because they're overheating, and I'm like rolling bad rolls because my character just, my equipment, I'm running out of ammo. It's just not a good situation. So I'm finally down to a knife, but it was a cheap piece of shit knife, not really made for someone with my physiology. So it breaks on like one of the pirates. So I'm in the galley and I just grabbed this butter knife. And this was the one time that I rolled a high crit, and I'm fighting this alien guy called a trisimian. They have three eyes, and I'm doing the best I can. And I aim for this guy's middle eye, and I stab him with this butter knife. And I rolled a crit, like critted everything, maxed crits. Three dice, and I stabbed this guy in the head, and it was pretty damn badass. Like everything had been going against me, so I finally it was due for me to get some type of good roll going on, and I killed this guy. Now this didn't really save anything. I think in the next room after that, my character had taken a really bad shot with a burn laser, which burnt my character. So I was pretty much incapacitated and in great pain. Like my health was halved at that point. But it was my glory moment. We managed to rescue the girl and made enough money to do some decent stuff and salvage the pirate ship. So we had a ship that had a decent 1.5 hyperdrive, and that's where we kind of ended it at the time. So yeah, just wanted to give you that little bit of information. So I guess that's the end of that story. I guess I'll tell you upcoming events after the cut. Okay then, so here's upcoming events. I think there's going to be a podcast this Thursday with Duo and myself and some other people talking about the financial results of Nintendo's fiscal year, which ended yesterday, the day before yesterday, the 29th, I think. So we're going to talk about those. I also have some other videos coming out this week. Obviously, every week we do the Sci-Fi Power Hour-ish and BS Busters. This Sci-Fi Power Hour-ish is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be talking about how to adapt video games to movies and why they fail and how to adapt them, or some other medium aside from video games. So that's going to be fun, and that's going to be at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, p.m. 7:30 to 8:30. It's an hour-long podcast, not too long. And obviously, every Sunday, 7:30 to 9, is the BS Busters And this one's going to be a little bit special because we're going to be talking about the Nintendo financial results and also some of the more zanier aspects of video gaming. So yeah, look forward to that. So yeah, that's the end of the podcast. I mean, that's the end of the video. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section. We might have a questionathon the week after next. So with that being said, that's the end of the video. Peace.